Greetings, I am the real-life fake wizard. The Xbox brand is dying. If this was 2008, people would have said that was a crazy claim. Today, it is an undeniable truth. Console hardware sales are dramatically down, with the Series XS selling only 34 million units in its entire lifetime. Comparatively, PlayStation 5 has cleared nearly 100 million units during the same time. Game Pass subscriber numbers have stalled, and the brand's own marketing has confused its most loyal customers about what Xbox even is anymore. There are many rounds of layoffs, and at the end of all the controversies, gamers have stopped trusting the platform. That's what it is. Xbox has a consumer trust problem. On February 20th, 2026, Microsoft installed a new CEO of its gaming division, Asha Sharma, a platform executive with no prior experience in the video game industry at all. We talked about this extensively in a video here. Well, nearly 2 months have passed since Sharma took over, and I'm here to report she's made some pretty big moves. To my surprise, which is kind of cool and not something I say often, I am surprised. There are clearly some big changes happening inside Xbox, and it's all because, well, it seems like there's a fight to save the soul of Xbox. I am joined here with Austin from the Southeast Game Exchange. Austin, how are we doing today?
Doing great. Super excited.
So tell me a little bit about the Southeast Game Exchange.
So the Southeast Game Exchange is a gaming expo convention. It started 10 years ago, so we're going into our 10-year anniversary. We're going to have 230,000 square feet of vendors, all kinds of gaming from free play, consoles, new and retro, as well as arcades and pinball.
So this year I heard you're integrating indie gaming into the show in a big way. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're doing?
Absolutely. So we're going to have an indie game circuit where we're going to have indie developers that will be there showcasing and demoing their games that they're working on. Celebration of indie developers and gaming. Our whole convention is centered around community, and the indie developer scene is part of our community. And a lot of the problems that they have is really just kind of discoverability. We're going to highlight these guys, and we're really excited to kind of bring them to the forefront of our show. We still have those applications available, so they can go to southeastgameexchange.com to apply.
And where can everybody else get tickets to the show?
Same website, southeastgameexchange.com. We have single day passes. You can get a really good deal on a full weekend. We really designed the show to where you cannot experience the whole show in a single day, so I really recommend grabbing those weekend passes.
We will see you there. Okay, so first let's talk about the mandate. Sharma's appointment was, by every measure, unconventional. She has no professional experience in the video game industry. Her career had been built at Meta and Instacart and the AI division of Microsoft. She was selected over Sarah Bond, the Xbox president, who had been widely assumed to be the then CEO Phil Spencer's successor. Bond resigned the same day Sharma's appointment was announced, a departure that fan communities and industry observers interpreted as involuntary. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella cited Sharma's deep experience building and growing platforms, aligning business models to long-term value, and operating at global scale as the rationale for her selection, which really breaks down to Xbox's problem was no longer understood internally as just a gaming problem. It's larger than that. This is a platform problem, a customer acquisition problem, and a brand identity problem. And so her appointment was and still is a gamble. The question of whether Xbox can be saved is inseparable from the question of whether the right leader, given genuine authority and a clear mandate, can restore a consumer brand that has lost the trust of its core audience. And that brings us into the decisions that Sharma has made and the decisions that are still to come. Number 1, Game Pass Ultimate price reduction. Sharma cut the monthly cost of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate by $7, reversing the widely criticized 50% price hike imposed in October 2025. The reduction came packaged with a structural trade-off, however. Future Call of Duty titles will no longer appear on Game Pass at launch, instead arriving approximately 1 year after release. My assessment is that this is a good move. The October 25 price increases were stupid and greedy, burning down tons of goodwill at a time when Xbox doesn't have goodwill to burn. Game Pass needs to maintain its marketing position as the best deal in gaming, whether it is or is not is irrelevant. This is marketing positioning we're talking about here. You cannot lose that when they have spent so many years acquiring that belief. The Call of Duty trade-off makes sense too. This game is expensive to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars to make. The last Call of Duty is reported to have cost $700 million to make, and it underperformed because, well, theoretically because it was tied to Game Pass. That is ridiculous. So yeah, take it away from Game Pass, let people who buy Call of Duty on their own buy Call of Duty, and Game Pass separately. Statistically, Call of Duty's audience skews towards players who purchase on day one, regardless of subscription availability, meaning the practical impact on Game Pass's value perception is much smaller than the cost savings it generates. Sharma also acknowledged in a leaked memo that Game Pass had become too expensive, a degree of candor that prior leadership consistently avoided. Number 2, this is an Xbox no more. This 2024 marketing campaign positioned every device capable of running Xbox software like phones, tablets, smart TVs, PCs, as all of them being Xboxes. Sharma officially retired this campaign, and Microsoft issued a public statement confirming the decision. My assessment is this was necessary and long overdue. This everything is an Xbox campaign furthered the decline in Series S and X consoles. So instead of giving people a reason to buy the console, they just bought the software everywhere, which dramatically devalued the hardware, which was still the revenue foundation of the whole Xbox ecosystem. Telling loyal console owners that their investment was functionally equivalent to buying a Samsung TV in Walmart or a refrigerator at Home Depot was a bad idea. This marketing campaign was a complete failure and didn't grow the brand or revenue for the company. Number 3, rebranding Microsoft Gaming to Xbox. This one is more semantics than anything, but it sends strong signals to gamers and the gaming community. Sharma has scrapped the Microsoft Gaming corporate umbrella and restored Xbox as the division's primary identity. She told employees that Xbox needs to be our identity, and return of Xbox slogans have been posted across Xbox office walls alongside other phrases like great games and future of play. Yeah, this is a good idea, and sure, it is mostly semantics, but it plays into killing off the everything is Xbox marketing strategy. This is the opposite of that. Everything else isn't an Xbox anymore. This is an Xbox. Microsoft Gaming as an umbrella term emerged from the internal restructuring following the Activision Blizzard acquisition. It was just a name, sure, but branding is everything. Take it from me, folks. I'm a real-life fake wizard. Clearly, I'm a branding genius. Number 4, daily active players as the new North Star metric. Xbox's primary success metrics used to be considered Game Pass subscriptions and consoles sold internally. Now, reestablished under Sharma, they are considering daily active players across all platforms as their success metric. This is a double-edged sword. On one hand, this is a more honest measure of the brand health than just subscription revenue or hardware installations, both of which can be inflated or deflated. However, are people choosing to spend time inside the Xbox ecosystem on a daily basis? That's the question. This also aligns with the multi-platform reality of what Xbox has become. If Xbox games are available on things like PlayStation, PC, Switch, cloud, mobile, well then measuring success by how many players are engaging with Xbox content, regardless of device, is more strategically coherent than counting console boxes shipped. On the other hand, because this is multifaceted, this invites skepticism. Changing the metric reported is a classic maneuver for organizations that are losing on the existing metric. The new metric is defensible if and only if Xbox can demonstrate that rising daily active players translates into revenue growth and brand equity. Number 5, achievement system overhaul. A cosmetic update. The Xbox achievement system is getting a visual update, which is minor, sure, but still symbolically significant. Achievements are a legacy feature of Xbox's identity. Updating achievements now, while early in this brand optimization process, is a move to build trust. Personally, I dig it. I also love trophies and achievements personally, so anything to showcase those a little bit better or to show that you're improving these systems is welcome. Number 6, Discord partnership for Game Pass. A decision here that I don't personally care for because I don't like Discord after their privacy issues, but a partnership with Discord was announced to provide Game Pass integration and flexibility. This, to my chagrin, makes a lot of sense. Discord has become the default social layer for PC gaming and is increasingly used by console players for voice chat and community organization. Integrating Game Pass with Discord extends Xbox service presence into the platform where its potential audience is already active, particularly on PC, where Xbox is trying to become a real competitor to things like Steam and Epic Games. Number 7, the Project Helix tease. Sharma has referenced Project Helix, which is Xbox's next-generation console PC hybrid hardware, in lots of public communications. She has hinted that it may target a more accessible price point than the high-end PC gaming range that prior leadership had suggested. This is a high-stakes risk. Helix is the single most important product in the Xbox pipeline. It represents the return to Xbox promise. Teasing it establishes that the product firstly exists and that the hardware remains a priority, which is good. But the risk is that teasing this thing constantly without showing us anything will create expectations that the product cannot meet. The longer Helix remains a concept rather than a demonstrated product, the more vulnerable it becomes to things like speculation and leaks and comparison to the Steam Cube and the PlayStation 6. Project Helix needs to give people a reason to not buy a gaming PC, which is going to be hard to do, especially with how fragile the brand is right now. It would be better if Sharma was to remain more cautious with presenting this product. Number 8, exclusivity reevaluation and windowing. We now have direct confirmation that Xbox is reevaluating its approach to Xbox exclusivity with windowing, which will be timed exclusivity on Xbox platforms, followed by the multi-platform release. As of right now, Forza Horizon 6 has been confirmed as delayed for PlayStation 5 release. Welcome back to the console wars, everybody, which in the console business needs to happen. I'm not defending it, don't attack me in the comments, I'm just explaining it here, okay? Get off my ass. If they're going to incentivize people to start buying Xboxes again, they need games and experiences that can't be found anywhere else. However, if the experiences are crap, it won't matter. Xbox will need to not only make games exclusive again, but the games need to go back to being very, very good, which is something we haven't seen since the Xbox 360 days. And there are also a series of unconfirmed rumors and emerging developments, and most of them seem legit. Number 9, new Game Pass tiers, Triton and Duet. Data-mined code references suggest 2 new Game Pass tiers. Triton would be a first-party only plan featuring titles from Microsoft-owned studios like Halo, Doom, Fable, Forza, Elder Scrolls, with no third-party games associated, all at a lower price point. Duet would bundle a standard Netflix subscription with a curated Game Pass library. Both tiers are expected to include Xbox Cloud Gaming, but with monthly hourly caps rather than unlimited access. Yeah, this is potentially transformative if it's real. Triton addresses a very long-standing request from fans who want access to Xbox's first-party catalog, but they don't want to pay for the full Game Pass library. In that case, this might be a smart move. There are a lot of people who only want the Xbox games and don't care about anything else. The hourly caps on cloud gaming, though, are a concern. Capping cloud access risks creating a 2-tier experience where paying subscribers will still hit walls. Microsoft has declined to comment on this, and Netflix has not confirmed the partnership. If these tiers do launch, The pricing structure and cap thresholds will determine whether they expand the audience or just frustrate gamers instead. I don't like the idea of there being any caps at all myself. Number 10, Fable might be internally delayed. Industry reporter Jeff Grubb has reported that Fable has been pushed internally, with the development team concerned about launching near GTA 6. The official Fable account has reaffirmed that autumn 2026 release window, but Grubb has noted the game could slip to 2027 if it cannot clear GTA 6's window. Look, whatever, man. Fable fans have already waited 16 years for a sequel. Yes, Fable 3 came out 16 years ago. If I'm going to empathize with the leadership at Xbox, this game needs to be a hit, and it needs to hit very, very hard. They cannot afford for this game to underperform, which means it needs all the time possible to make sure it's great on day one. If Fable had to delay into 2027, that wouldn't necessarily be catastrophic on its own, but it would thin Xbox's 2026 software lineup during a year that has been positioned as a turning point. The GTA 6 concern, however, is very legitimate. Look at Capcom, front-loading all their games to the top of 2026 to avoid the GTA behemoth coming at the end of the year. So where does that leave us? Where does that leave the gamers? Well, if you isolate any one of these decisions, none of them save Xbox. A $7 price cut doesn't rebuild a brand. Killing a bad marketing campaign doesn't sell consoles. Individually, these are small moves. Some of them are corrections that should have been made years ago. A few of them are just common sense. But taken together, I believe they tell a story, and that story is someone inside the building is actually trying here. There seems to be a visible, coherent through line here connecting these decisions. Stabilize the value proposition, clarify the identity, stop confusing your audience, and start earning back the right to ask people to invest in your platform. The previous strategy was a series of contradictions held together by bad marketing jargon. In videos past, we have discussed that Sharma might have been brought in to package up Xbox and kill it as a console brand entirely, turning Xbox into just a software brand. It appears now, with a bit of distance from her installment though, they may be trying to make a play to revive Xbox as a brand. The question is whether direction is going to be enough here. Sharma can make every correct decision available to her and still lose, because the hole is that deep for Xbox. The margin for error is gone. One bad game release or a botched Helix reveal, and the return of Xbox becomes another slogan that people screenshot to make fun of. Every decision by the previous leadership made Xbox harder to believe in, but Sharma's early decisions are at least pointed in the opposite direction. Only time will tell. Until next time, create, innovate, inspire others to do so as well, and for the love of God, cancel Disney+.